creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about Collision. We started off with our first match, the Texas Death Match, which I figured it was going to get that out the way first. The show was taped on Thursday, so I don't know if this went in the order of how things were taped, but when I tell you, Hangman and Christopher Daniels got that whole arena bloodied up, it was insane. Christopher Daniels was pretty much, I don't want to say that Hangman wasn't bleeding at all, but it seems like any blood that might have been on Hangman must have been Christopher Daniels. If this is Christopher Daniels' last match, which everyone is kind of seemingly acting like it is, because all the pictures and all the memories about Christopher Daniels as if this man passed away, it's giving vibes as if this might be the last one. So I honestly don't know, but he really gave his everything in this, and this is a great way to not just open the show, but I think this might have been the best match of the night for me. If you're not into the whole blood thing, then this might be a little difficult for you to watch it, even though I thought it was a lot of blood, especially when there was that one part where Christopher Daniel gets up and you can see the blood dripping from his head down to like his mouth when his mouth was open. And I was just like, Lord, he's essentially drinking his own blood. It was just way over top. Now, Hangman needed this win, and there really isn't a reason why that, Christopher Daniels should win. So we knew that's where it was going. And it seemed like Christopher Daniels was really going to just do his very best until he couldn't do anymore. And when Christopher Daniels finally got up, Hangman was waiting to give him a buckshot lariat, and he didn't even wait for Christopher Daniels to turn around to give him that lariat, to his chest. He just gave him the lariat from the back, and then 1, 2, 3 ends up taking the win. Now Hangman just get out the ring. He don't give a fuck. The doctors came and check up on him, and then Hangman was just about to make it to the back, and he's like, you know what? Because you've been in my business, let me just go over there and stomp your ass out some more. No, Chris, let me just say, Hangman had on these boots that are just insane. They're kind of giving church shoes vibes, but I'm pretty sure they were cowboy boots. I don't know. It's not something that I think anybody will be comfortable with wrestling, but obviously Hangman got to have that cowboy look, so he's wearing the whole get up, and he ends up attacking Christopher Daniels, and then another doctor came out there, and referees came out there to make sure Christopher Daniels was all right. If this was his last match, I really do appreciate what Christopher Daniels has done in this business. I don't think this is the last time you'll see Christopher Daniels. He's definitely going to keep like a backstage role within AEW, and I do think that whether he's in the ring or not, he has still a lot left to offer this business. After this, we had Tony time. So it was Tony Schiavone and Tony Storm in the ring. Tony Storm is happy to be going to Australia to face Mariah May for the first time that they'll ever meet each other. So she's happy about that. And Tony Schiavone's just kind of being like, what do you mean? Like, it's not the first time you've met her, but whatever. We're playing into the whole amnesia thing or whatever the situation is. And she gets Tony Schiavone to scream out, "It's Tony time." I don't care. None of that shit made sense. Now after this, her syndicate back there. This was after their match on Wednesday against Pastor Briscoe and Private Party. Basically, which was interesting, MVP goes on to say that because they won, Shelton and Bobby automatically are #1 contenders for the tag championships. Now I found this to be interesting because now I'm just like, so whether they win or not, MVP is not putting himself in the equation in terms of actually wrestling. So I don't know I don't think we'll be may see him like wrestle, I guess you could say often. So it was really interesting to see that instead of saying trios or anything like that, he automatically says, hey, Bobby and Shelton, they got this. They're gonna whoop your ass, take them tires off y'all next week. So we're happy to see that. Honestly, I see them taking the win. After this, they fucked up the vibe a little bit for me. Well, no, not even a little bit. Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly finally joined the boys again, which we do appreciate. They went against Lee Moriarty, Sean Dean, and Carly Bravo, which is STP. If you're watching Ring of Honor, they're building these guys to possibly even be the top faction in Ring of Honor. Now, this match actually is not bad, but from the jump, you can already see where they're going with this. I was not happy about this at all, because I was just like, oh my gosh, they're going to have STP lose. Now, I was just hoping for a fire-ass match in a strong match, even if they would take the L, but they end up losing, and I didn't feel like it was favorable for STP. And I try not to get favoritism in the way, because I actually like both these groups. Adam Cole, not you so much, but I like both of these groups. And for me, I'm just like, how do you try to book a faction to be strong in one promotion and then turn around to have them look like pussies on another show? I have no clue what that is about. After this, Shane Taylor actually goes in there and he's attacking the Undisputed Kingdom. And here comes, man, I don't know what the hell where this come from. But all of a sudden, it seems like Daddy Magic got into it. Daddy Magic was doing commentary, kind of got into the yelling match with Undisputed Kingdom and Shane Taylor and them in the ring. I was like, what the hell are you doing here? And then all of a sudden, Daniel Garcia come on out there in a tracksuit that he looked like he borrowed from Daddy Magic to go on out there to do what? While he ends up giving Shane Taylor, I think, a suplex. What? This is what I'm saying. When I tell y'all that Ring of Honor roster should most likely be separated from AEW, it's because of situations like this, where there is a story going on one place, when you're building someone or a group to look a certain type of way on one show, and on the other show, all that shit is out the window. Tony Khan, if anybody's watching fucking AEW, we are also watching Ring of Honor. Whoever's watching Ring of Honor, trust me, we're watching both. So for you not to connect the dots between both shows, I think right there is the reason why some people don't want to watch. After this, we do hear from William, who says that, with all the whole foolishness with Don Callis and them, that he and our boy Kenny Omega is just going to have to team up and join forces to go against everybody that don't like them. And that they're going to have a face-to-face conversation. No. He said, we're going to have a chat, bro. And you know how when the English say we have to have a chat, oh, it's serious. So they're going to be doing a little face-to-face thing next week on Dynamite. After this, they fuck up the whole vibe again with Brian Cage teaming up with Lance Archer. And I was just like, oh, who are they going against? And already, Top Flight is already out there with the Jobber's entrance. Their music don't play nothing. They already just sitting there waiting to get their ass whooped by what do they call again? Murder machines. I could not believe it. Top Flight, they've been over there. They did not deserve no Jobber's entrance. I don't care what anybody say. I could not even believe it. They pretty much got their ass whooped 80% of the match with not too much offense until like towards the end of the match, where it was just like, well, we know y'all losing, but at least y'all not gonna die without fighting. And they end up taking the L. I couldn't even believe it. I just don't understand what was the point of that. After this, Leo Rush and Action Andretti, they came out there and attacked Top Flight after the match. And that part I'm not bothered by, because I guess they've been having a feud or whatever. But they kind of just did Top Flight dirty. They're one of the best tag teams over there. And every time I see them, I feel like they're further and further away from being the actual, being one of the top tag teams over there, and even getting their hands even close to those tag titles. I don't even see that happening anytime soon. After this, Learning Tree and them back there, they talking, and they said that, they don't trust John Moxley, but they got common enemies, and somebody's going to end up paying, and we're going to make sure somebody's going to pay for it before the match. Now, after that, we do have the Undisputed Kingdom with Garcia and, what's his name? Daddy Magic, who looks like somebody lost uncle at the mall. Long story short, Undisputed Kingdom is like, hey, we want to have a match with y'all, but y'all look like y'all don't have enough people. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, Daniel Garcia is going to have to look for 2 other partners, because I don't see Daddy Magic doing a damn thing up in here. So then they going on and say, okay, look like we're going to have to get Daddy over here. I'm like, Daddy? Who the hell y'all calling Daddy? They're talking about Angelo Parker, because Angelo Parker just had a baby with Ruby Soho. Whatever. It's going to be them 3 versus the Undisputed Kingdom. That's next week, I believe, on Collision, because we don't have time for this on Dynamite. Very, very interesting. Not what I was hoping for. Now, for the moment everybody's been waiting for, we had Max Caster in the ring with his Louis V duffel bag. And it's a big one, too. For what reason, I have no clue. And he pretty much kind of calls out Anthony Bowens to come out there. I think he was trying to fix things, but also being very arrogant talking about how he's the best wrestler alive. And not only that he's the best wrestler alive, but he has a paper to prove it. He gets into the Louis V bag, that big ass double bag, just to come up with a little plaque that says best wrestler alive. Like, you bought that. You paid the government to let you have that, to call yourself that legally. That ain't even true about yourself. Now, Anthony Bowen said, hey, look, man, we were best friends. We've been cool. But I feel like for years I've been lying to people about who you are as a person. You ain't shit. And he's not lying about that. And then they go on to pretty much just arguing with each other on the Caesar King, you're jealous, and all this shit. Things that we don't even give a fuck about. Daddy Ass even came on out there. And I think he was trying to fix the situation too. But Max Caster is pretty much saying that, hey, your old ass pretty much got with us so that we can help build y'all up. Every tag team that you've been part of, you fucked it up. And I was just like, oh, so that's where we're going? Nothing about this felt fun at all. These young guys, Anthony Bowens, even though I do prefer Anthony Bowens over Max Caster, he has a lot of work to do. He has a lot of work to do, especially as a babyface, because he's gonna move on to be a babyface. Matt Caster, I don't know what we're gonna do with him. But there's a lot of work to be done for the both of them. When they do their promos, you don't hear the conviction in their voice. It's something about it that was not so great to me. This whole thing I don't give a fuck. He even had Daddy Ass having to choose between no, I'm sorry, not Daddy Ass. He had Anthony Bowens having to choose between him or Daddy Ass. And Anthony chose Daddy Ass. And honestly, I was just like, what? And then Max Caster was like, oh, I'm just going to get out of here. He grabs his bag and he ends up walking to the back. I felt nothing. I felt nothing with this at all. And I'm going to tell you another thing too. The show being taped on Thursday, there was, during this segment specifically, it felt like the cheers and all the excitement that you saw from the audience in between like little cuts and things, it felt forced. It felt like none of that shit was true. It felt like maybe they took those reactions from other times of the show and put it on during that segment to make it seem like people were happier about what was going on. And I felt like all this feels kind of fake to me. I didn't like that. Like Tony Khan, I think we know when something has to feel genuine. So putting reactions where there probably weren't did not feel genuine in this whole thing. And I don't think this helped at all. Skip this part at all costs if you can. After this, we do have the Continental Championship on the line. We had Okada versus Ishii. Well, it was okay. That much I could say. It was okay. But I will also say that I felt like, Okada may be back to just not doing a damn thing after that Continental Classic, to be completely honest with you. So I understand we didn't see him for a little bit since the Continental Classic was over at World's End. I was like, oh, he's just catching a little break. But now we're at the point where it's just like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm kind of feeling like maybe there's too many titles, if that makes sense. I don't know. Or maybe they're not doing much for there to be like a division around the title. It really doesn't feel like there's a division at all when it comes to these titles. It's just people on the roster and we'll see who goes for it. And honestly, I didn't care too much about this at all. Okada goes out there to get the bell, and the referee's just like, where the hell are you going with that? And he goes to take it out of Okada's hand, and while the referee goes to put the bell back, Okada goes and kicks Ishii in the nuts, give him a rainmaker, and take the win. And for me, it's just like, y'all know I love the heels, but I'm bored. I'm fucking bored. Like, is this the best thing y'all can do? I didn't care too much for this at all. Now, after this, we do get a little promo, a little backstage promo of Gates of Agony. They say that they will be back and that they're going to be, having a match next week. And y'all know I love the Gates of Agony. Oh my God, Bishop God. Oh my God, he's so beautiful. And then we find out that they're going to go against Buddy Matthews and Brody King. Prayers for the Gates of Agony. After this, we have Dustin Rhodes versus Adam Priest. They wasted our time with a squash match when really, no shade to Dustin, because Dustin actually gave a beautiful crossroads DDT type shit. But at the end of the day, it's just like, we could have put the girls on here The girls could have gotten a little bit more TV time. Like, why not? Because after this, we had Julia Hart versus Hardy Cameron. They could have ran that to be a little bit longer too, which was actually not bad. We're seeing the improvement from Harley, and we've seen Julia Hart, who's just returned recently, and she's looking great in the ring as well. So their chemistry was pretty decent with each other. But our girl Julia Hart ends up taking the win, which we're okay with. But if we're gonna do these little squash matches, Dustin Rhodes, that we've hardly ever really see on AEW like that, who's more featured on Ring of Honor, I felt like a little time like that should have been dedicated for at least making the girls match a little longer, or at least a squash with the girls. At least they could have had a little bit more TV time, and unfortunately they didn't. After this, we see Learning Tree back there. They look like they're stomping somebody out. And when the camera zooms out, it's them stomping out on Powerhouse Hobbs. They did say that somebody was going to get hurt. So they hurt Powerhouse Hobbs, and they even took his knee brace off, and they went out to the ring for their match. Their match, main event, Learning Tree teaming up with Claudio, Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta versus the Rated FTR runners and Powerhouse Hobbs. Now, what was interesting was that the babyface team come out there, and I don't know if they were aware of what happened to Hobbs, but they all came out together and didn't notice that Hobbs was not with them. And when Learning Tree came out, they saw Powerhouse Hobbs' knee brace on in the hands of Big Bill, and I think that's when they seemed to look surprised, like, "Oh no, what happened to Hobbs? Oh no, he's not here." What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, Adam Copeland looked so surprised when he saw the knee brace in Big Bill's hand. I was just like, oh. So y'all came out, just the five of y'all, and then realized a big black jack man wasn't with y'all. Now anyway, most of this match is done without Powerhouse Hobbs, because they said on commentary that the doctors was attending to him and whatever little problems he had back there. So it was a lot of Wheeler Yuta getting his ass whooped by everybody else. Brian Keith as well. Brian Keith, I'm not feeling this role for him. I'm really not. It's giving, I'm a black man looking for something to do. I'm not feeling it, but whatever. The match was okay, and to be honest with you, I'm not really impressed with these multi-man matches where we're trying to get all the big stars, all the veterans, all in one little shebang to give y'all something to watch before we cut the fucking lights off in this building. And for me, I'm just like, I just want to see different shit. Every night we're ending with the same people, and no, there's nothing wrong with these people. It's just that people want to see different things. And I'm just not hyped when I see these main events, seeing all these guys on here. And it's just like, well, there's other people on this roster, right? There's other people on this roster. The match was okay, I guess. And for whatever reason, things went left. Things went left when Adam Copeland and Moxley were the ones that were fighting on the ramp. And all of a sudden, everybody, Marina saw coming out, Pat came out and attacked Adam Copeland. And then all of a sudden, Wheeler Yuta, Claudio and them came from the back. Weren't all y'all motherfuckers in the ring? Why was everybody in the back all of a sudden? Everybody started getting into a fight. It was very confusing. Everybody's in the ring all at once. Nothing but a brawl broke out. The referee's just standing there like, I'll wait until there's two people in this ring. And then it took for Powerhouse Hobbs to come on out there to get things rolling, to take the win for his team. I don't know. It's just not as interesting as maybe what they thought before they did this. You know, Powerhouse Hobbs, he went out there, wobbled on that one leg, and ended up taking the win. I think it does help Hobbs look okay. We could be doing a little bit more to make him look better. Something is telling me that he may get another opportunity with Moxley again, where is a situation where everybody's barred from ringside or something. Something about it is keeping him in this picture, and I feel like it's probably gearing for another shot where it's just him and Moxley. Oh, Moxley had this weird ass black tape wrapped around his earlobe from where he was supposedly where Hobbs had bit him the other day. So it was very weird. Whatever. It's just not as interesting enough. I'm still with y'all. I'm still with you, Tony Khan, but not interesting enough, especially to close out your show. You're supposed to have your biggest stars in this main event, and something about it still kind of felt like it's lacking. And at that point, I was just like, I'd rather see somebody else in the main event. This is just a lot going on. Very chaotic, and not in the way that you're probably thinking it's a good way. It just was a little too much. 12-man tag, I don't know. I don't care for it. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Very interesting. Very interesting. And I just wish that we could do something a little bit different moving forward. The Death Riders thing, that storyline is going to have to make a huge change for everybody to be on board. Tony Khan, let's get it together. Get all your little writers together. Get them all in the same room and say, don't come out this room until y'all got some money ideas. Because right now, this thing y'all doing, it's not good enough. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. We'll be back on a Wednesday for Dynamite. See you guys then.